Leftover women are learning the hard way as men walk out on them. So, this is a reality that a lot of women are finding themselves in now, where they chose feminism, they chose to be boss babes. They said they didn't want to be wives, they didn't want to be mothers, they prioritized their careers, they went on a grand line adventure. And now that they're coming home from sea, they're discovering that there's no one waiting there for them. Men pay 80% of all taxes, women make 80% of all consumer purchases. And we're beginning to see the impact that it's having where men are walking away from relationships, walking away from society, and saying that we are going to focus on ourselves, our own happiness. If we are going to be in a relationship, it's going to be with someone who is compatible with us, who has the same values as us, who wants the same things as us, who is going to help us to build our brand, our business, our life versus someone that we are just there to serve and try to make happy. And as a result of this, we're finding that a lot of women, more and more women, are now alone, aging out of the ability to even be wives and mothers, and finding themselves in destitution and other difficult situations. We have a video from Manhood, and he kind of breaks down what's happening. This is not a problem solely in the United States. There's a lot of women now homeless in Japan, a lot of women now homeless in China, a lot of women now ending up homeless in countries where, some women said they did not need men, they did not want men, they did not want to have relationships. Or even in the case of Japan, where a lot of men in Japan decided that they could not be bothered, and instead they're getting into relationships with their waifus, working on long hours, and then just playing video games in their spare time. That's the reality of it. Let's go ahead and jump into the video, and I'm going to link you to Manhood's channel in description so you can go and check him out and support his work.
Over women are learning the hard way as men walk out on them.
China, if a woman is over 30 years old and she is not married, she will be called 剩女,剩女,剩女, which means leftover woman.
The only power you have as a man in 2023 and beyond is you got to be able to walk away from a girl if she disrespects you. And that's when she realizes, damn, this guy really will walk away from me and get another girl at that might be cuter than me. Bam. That's when they turn around and they say, I need to readjust my behavior, because women rarely ever get put in an uncomfortable position like that where they can be replaced. Most guys the girl will do some fucked up shit and he'll sit there, please take me back. And he didn't even do nothing. It was her. But she'll go ahead and gaslight and make him feel bad. And you can't play that game. It's like, oh, you want to be like that? Cool. Get the fuck out my house. And that's when women act right.
Gotta walk away.
Some women thought they just could not find a man because they did not go out enough, or they did not have the proper dating profile. Still, as soon as they started paying attention to all those details, they quickly figured out it was not because they didn't meet enough men, it was because they were actually leftovers. Many people claim dating is dead in the modern world, but I think this is the whole truth. Men are selective in walking away from women. If men were just walking away, there wouldn't be the need for passport bros or traditional women getting engaged. Men are walking away from modern women, hoe-flated hoes, sprinkles, single moms, and most especially leftover women. Men are done with these types of women and are not even looking back. Some men categorize every Western woman as a modern woman, so they are done with dating in the West. Women who are in their 30s and above, divorced or single mums, feel this heat the most.
Hey, I was talking to a friend of mine the other day, and she is so disheartened with the dating scene. And I'll say I have my own misgivings too. It's been very interesting. We're in the Atlanta market, and if you are at all aware, it's real special down here. But she's been dating for the last 2 years post-divorce, and she texted me yesterday and said, I'm done. I said, no. You've just scratched the surface. She said, no, I'm done. I'm done. She said, I'll live vicariously through you and all the other folks and friends. She said, I can't do this anymore. And I think it's just really disheartening, because she is a beautiful girl, beautiful woman with a wonderful spirit, great character. And I think what all of us kind of in similar situation are finding is that there's too much craziness out here. Too many people are into polyamorous situations, dating multiple women, multiple guys at the same time.
The problem for these leftover women started when they were told by society and feminism that they were still 10 and a queen after being divorced twice or with 3 kids without a father in the picture. This delusion made women feel entitled, influenced their nasty attitude towards the good men ready to settle with their situation, and gradually pushed men from them. There was a time when no one had anything against single mums. There have been many step-siblings, half-brothers and sisters in the past decades, more than the last one, because men started observing that single mums have become hard to deal with because they have ridiculous standards. I saw a video of a single mom saying any man who wants to go on a date with her has to pay for the babysitting of her kid. The same goes for 304S, demanding high-value men, and fat women, demanding men who have disciplined themselves and dedicated years to train their bodies.
I mean, guys, think about it very carefully. So women want high-value men when they are not high value in the same respects. Women want men who are fit, men who are wealthy, men who are tall. But these same women that want these men, they are not disciplined. They want well-disciplined men that are going to be loyal, even when they themselves are not loyal. They have a roster of men always on their phone. They're always monkey branching onto the next one. So this man is supposed to be presentable. He needs to, think about it. Modern women, they go and they marry a man who's high value. The man is always getting he's getting his suit ready for the next day, clothing ready for the next day, doing his own laundry, meal prepping his own foods because he's on a special diet. So he does meal prep. So he's preparing all of his own meals. He's preparing his own clothing. He's washing the bath. He's washing the tub and everything else after he uses it. He's cleaning up after himself. And women are like, and that's what an adult male is supposed to do. Okay, but he's doing all of these things for himself. And then on top of that, he's providing for this woman. All right, providing for all of her needs. He's there to listen to her after work. He's doing all the chores around the house as well. Why are you even in a relationship? What value is she bringing to the relationship? Oh, it's not about what she can do for him. It's about what he can do for her. Okay? She's obviously bringing her presence. Her presence is enough. Just by her being there, she is multiplying everything in his life. How is she multiplying everything in his life? By her presence. Guys, what they're trying to tell you is that they are gods. Because God's presence in our lives will multiply everything in our lives. But God is real. He controls everything else. For those of you that don't believe in God, that's fine. Let it fly. But for those of you that do believe in God, you know what I'm talking about. But God does not ask anything of us. We don't have to bring anything to God. The church is the one that's asking something of us. The church, as Jesus defined it, is a gathering of believers in Jesus Christ. It is not a building. It is not an organization. It's not a religion. It is simply a gathering of believers in Jesus Christ. Where 2 or 3 are gathered, let there be God. So the modern day church is not a reflection of the church that Jesus Christ speaks of. In other words, Jesus did not ask anything of us for the most part, other than to want to be with him, to listen to his words and the philosophy that he taught us, how to live a better life. He asked nothing of us, truth be told. And guys, if you understand the concept of God, many Christians will try to, come after you and say that's not true. You have to love thy neighbor, and there are all these rules that you have to follow if you want to be saved by God. These are lies. All you have to do to be saved by God is to accept him. Though, and to accept him, it doesn't mean to love your fellow man. To accept him, it doesn't mean to go to church and give tithes and offerings, or you're going to suffer in life if you don't hand over the money. God doesn't give a damn about the money, because it's imaginary. God doesn't give a damn about what you have. It means nothing to him. Wealth, resources, possessions, none of it. It all means absolutely nothing to him. It means something to? It means something to these organizations. It means something to the state. It means something to women. They want your money. They want your attention. They want your time. They want your money. This is how these people work. This is how they operate. And now that men are walking away from Western society and Western relationships in Western society, they are beginning to see the consequences of feminism, the consequences of deciding that I want to be a boss babe, I want to live this life. And now they're saying, feminism got us everything that we wanted. Let's fight it together, because the money, because eventually you run out of other people's money. Unless men are in the economy actively creating new value, then all the money that's being printed is the only thing that's backing it up is more and more debt. Nothing of it, no services, no products, nothing. Because men are the greatest producers on the face of the earth. Men produce, women consume. Men pay 80% of all taxes. Women make 80% of all consumer purchases. But think about what's happening right now. Men are walking away, so taxes are beginning to plummet down. Plummet down. Okay? The government doesn't have any money. The government has no money. If men do not want to go out and create new value, there's no money. It's all imaginary, and the value of fiat currency will always go down to zero. The petrodollar no longer exists. If countries want to buy oil, the US dollar is no longer the reserve currency. That is being replaced by BRICS currency, a currency pioneered by Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, and other countries are joining. Turkey is joining BRICS. Saudi Arabia is joining BRICS. It is now becoming the reserve. It is going to be the reserve currency of the world. The US dollar is not backed by anything, and all of these countries that held debt, United States bonds, they're basically cashing them in to make their own currency stronger. Japan is selling off US bonds. They're selling off our bonds, which weakens our money. That's a signal that, the US dollar is no longer valued as the reserve currency of the world. It's only going from bad to worse, and it's not going to get any better. And you have women who made these decisions, they made these choices, and now they're trying to run back and find men while also demonizing men. And you've got the simps who are like, go where you're needed and endure. In other words, basically go and serve the state until they don't need you anymore, and then they get rid of you once they're done. And you won't enjoy it. Guys, this is the reality we live in right now, and women chose this for themselves. They got their rewards, but now they don't want to face the consequences for the choices that they've made. I told you that while the label feminism would go away, the legacy of feminism would live on. You're going to have women you're going to ask them, are you a feminist? And they're going to say, Fema what? Fema who? Fema. Is that a new song? Is that a new dance? Did you mean FEMA camp? I've heard of those places. They're terrible. I don't want to go there. Me, I've always just been more of a girly girl. I like ponies and Jesus. I've always wanted to be a wife and a mother. That ha 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 he he. This is how they're gonna roll.
To the table.
Everything. I got 2 kids, you know what I mean? So everything. If you're willing to provide for my kids, then everything.
Everything like what?
My kids, my life, my mental health, everything. Everything you want to know about me, I'll bring to the table for sure.
Those are liabilities. My kids, my mental health, my life. So basically you're bringing liabilities to the table. Okay? Because a man is going to have to go and provide for your kids, not his kids, your kids. So he's going to be a step-on dad, all right? They're going to step on him as he has to provide for you and your children. And if he develops a relationship with those kids, you can then petition the court to force him to continue paying child support for those kids, even though they're not his. These are the things that happen in Western society. That's why I say the job of women operating as agents of the state is to reallocate wealth and resources from men back to the state. And when they fulfill that obligation, then the state rewards them. If they don't, then the state basically says we have nothing for you. Because it's not that the state is partnering with them, more so they're accomplices. But the state does not love them more. The state doesn't love any of us. The state doesn't love humanity. The state just needs humanity to extract wealth and resources from men so that it can enrich itself. That is what the state does. Okay? So it's crazy as we're observing all of these things now, because women are like, oh, I'll bring you, you get to be a stepfather. You get to provide for me. You get to deal with my mental health issues. You right? you get to take care of me. How wonderful is that, bro? Like, you get access to all of this. Like, this is the reality that men have, and women don't. Women have been gaslighting men forever. They think they can continue shaming men. To be a woman, all you have to do is identify as a woman. To be a man, you have to basically live up to the expectations of others, or you will be shamed and gaslit continuously. But more men are realizing that no matter what happens, we'll always be men, because we're going to be punished just for being men. All right. And masculinity, constantly tearing down masculinity, but then demanding men be more masculine based on the way that women in society want them to be, is just another way of gaslighting and controlling men. So men are basically walking away from all of it. All right, walk away is growing. Men walking away is growing rapidly. And the great thing about men walking away is that it has nothing to do with men not liking women. It has nothing to do with separatism. It has everything to do with men walking away from toxic relationships, toxic environments, and instead walking towards the things that do work for them. Men walking away are men with alternatives, are ninjas with attitudes. Guys, what do you think regarding all of this? Leftover women are learning the hard way as men walk out on them. Let me know your thoughts and we'll talk about it in the comments. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA, men walking away. And cheers.